inadvertently found on a hard drive that he claims could be of interest to congressional investigators. So let's bring in Democratic Congressman Khanna. He sits on the House Oversight Committee, would be particularly interested in this story. Congressman, appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much. So Michael Cohen says that he might have evidence for congressional investigators. You asked him back in February about hush money payments to Stormy Daniels. He turned over checks signed by the president and his son and Alan Weisselberg. Now he's asking Congress to help him persuade the SDNY to postpone his jail time. Do you think Congress should help him?
Well, Don, I think he should have the opportunity to present his evidence. Here is what's ironic about the situation. Of all of the people, Michael Cohen is the only person going to jail. He did everything for the benefit of President Trump and the campaign, yet he seems to be the only one facing any of the consequences. If he has more documents, if he has more evidence, we should see it. And if that means that he's going to have a delay of a few months before he starts his jail time, I think the interests of transparency outweigh that possible delay.
Isn't that amazing to just fathom, especially if you're Michael Cohen? You did all of these things on behalf of someone else, and they're not suffering the consequence you are. Can you imagine that?
I mean, I think that's what really frustrates people in this country. They think that the people with the power, the people with fancy lawyers and prestige get away, and some fall guy like Cohen has to take the punishment. What we really need to know is who else was responsible, and Cohen has testified that Alan Weisselberg, people in the Trump organization, were involved in this cover-up. He should at least have a chance to share all of the documents. I mean, no one is saying that he doesn't go to jail. He's just saying, let me give you all the evidence I have.
So let's talk about what Congress is doing. Democrats really turning up the pressure on the president this week, clearing subpoenas for the Mueller report and for the investigation into security clearances. Other committees are demanding that the president's taxes and the Trump Organization financial documents, inauguration documents, they want those too. Is this a turning point, do you think, where Democrats are using all the power that they have?
Well, what we want is basic transparency. You know, I was talking to Richie Neal, who's the chair of the Ways and Means Committee, who's made the request for the president's taxes, and he's been so deliberate. But here's the point that we should emphasize. Every president for the last 50 years, including Nixon, including Reagan, including Clinton, has submitted their taxes, disclosed their taxes. Why should this president have a different standard? And Richie Neal was so careful, he only asked for 6 years. The reason is because the IRS says that you only have to keep your taxes for 6 years. So this was a thoughtful process to have transparency. And we can, same with the Mueller report. I mean, the American people paid for an investigation. The president keeps talking about all the expense. Shouldn't they see what's in the report? I mean, this is common sense and a call for transparency.
To see how it was spent and if it was money well spent. Listen, Congressman, the committee you sit on, the House Oversight Committee, authorized a subpoena for the White House Personnel Security Director to testify regarding security clearances. You know, that's been, you know, a big story this week of concern. What do you want to know from him?
I want to know why security officials, career officials were overturned. Why was there a total disregard for the expertise of people who are tasked with figuring out whether people should be trusted with national security? It's very simple. Why were the 25 cases where there were issues of drug use, where there was issues of foreign conflicts of interest, why were they granted security clearances?
So a little bit more, I want to mention Michael Cohen again, because back in February, he accused the president of financial fraud, gave Congress 3 years' worth of the president's financial statements. This week, Chairman Cummings said that the firm that prepared those statements would provide more financial documents if they got a subpoena. What are you hoping to learn from the president's accounting firm?
Well, first of all, whether he was transparent in the taxes that he filed. Did he underestimate the value, and did he not pay fair tax? Second, did he have foreign conflicts of interest in any of his holdings? Third, are there any influencing his policies as President of the United States? You know, as a member of Congress, I have to disclose in detail my finances, my family's finances. I don't understand why the President of the United States shouldn't have the same obligation.